But inshallah, very few minutes I want to take. Inshallah, of you, I can see that the time has gone a lot, and here we have Ramadan has gone. Part 3. Ramadan has gone. What next? Part 3. Inshallah, we have talked about a lot of things that we should be doing after the month of Ramadan, so that we can have an accepted Ramadan. And together with that, I want to just mention some few signs of an accepted Ramadan. And we mentioned okay, the first one is worrying over if our deeds are accepted. That is also one of the signs of an accepted Ramadan. When you find that a person, he is worrying over if our deeds are accepted or not, and here you find this person, he is seeking Allah Azza Jal to accept his deeds. You know, after Ramadan, people, they don't think of this thing. That's why you can think it is just together with muhasabah. You are worrying over if your deeds were accepted or not. And here I want to mention, you know, people will be asking, where have you gotten that from? And that's why when you worry about the deeds, if they accepted or not, it is usually a sign of iman. And Allah Azza Jal, he says in Surah Al-Mu'minun, وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْتُونَ مَا عَتَوْا وَقُلُوبُهُمْ وَجِلَ أَنَّهُمْ إِلَى رَبِّهِمْ رَاجِعُونَ. Those people who you find that they give what they give when their hearts, they are trembling, fearing the day when they will return to their Lord. So the Prophet ﷺ explained that there is a person who prays, he gives charity, but he fears that it will not be accepted by Allah. That is what the Prophet ﷺ said. You find that this person, he is fearing, having very much fear within his heart, having very much fear in his heart if that deed that they are doing, is it accepted or not. And the Prophet ﷺ is not is saying that this person is not a person maybe who has drunk alcohol or he has maybe done some big sins. No, he's a person who usually prays, gives charity, but you know, he fears if it will be accepted by Allah. He is fearing, and this is one of the sign of an iman, and also a sign of an accepted Ramadan. Another sign is that Allah Azza wa Jal, he gives an increase in guidance to those who have been guided. Allah, he increases in guidance to those who have been guided. Example, and here is very much important that at the day of Eid now we have to see if this person, he is in the obedience or not. When you find that this person, you know, after the month of Ramadan now he is in obedience still, even after the month of Ramadan, then this is a sign of an accepted Ramadan, and together with it is a sign of gratitude. It's a sign of gratitude. You are thanking Allah Azza. That's why say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, and this is a sign of gratitude of what you have been given on the month of Ramadan, because you are doing obedience over obedience, obedience over obedience. So you are continuing to act on that obedience. You are continuing to act on obedience. That is also a sign of an accepted Ramadan. I want to go ahead, mention some few other signs, and then mention some few things I think so the Salafus Salih they used to do. Before we go into that, I want to mention that another sign is good deeds lead on to good deeds. I think so we have seen that when you do one good deed, it will lead you to another good deed. When you do one good deed, it will lead you to do another good deed. For example, after the month of Ramadan, we go to ibadah, which is to give zakatul fitr. After zakat, this is ibadah, you do another good deed. After that zakatul fitr, you go and do the Eid. After Eid, you're gonna do the Eid Salah. You make Alhamdulillah, Shukla, maybe you go and do another good deed, Salah. You do Faraid of Salah, and we go on like that. Good deed, it lead to another good deed. Good deeds, it lead to another good deed. And inshallah, I want to mention another thing is that also another signs of an accepted Ramadan is that the action, they are judged by the way we end. Now you just look at the way you ended your month of Ramadan. If you ended in obedience with Allah, then you find that this is a sign of an accepted Ramadan. You see at the end, what have you done? If you see that you have been maybe doing something bad, then there's a shahwa, you may not know, there's a doubt on your month of Ramadan. So you have to be you have to check on yourself that how did you end the month of Ramadan? Did you end in obedience, or you ended in the way that you wanted? So this is also one of the signs that can really help us to know if our Ramadan is accepted or it is not accepted. Now bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, I have finished on the signs of an accepted Ramadan, and inshallah I want to just make us to remember some few things that we have talked about, that if we have to live with this Ramadan, we have to be in taqwa. And this taqwa, it is as if you see Allah Azza, and if you can't see Allah Azza, then it is as if He sees you. Okay, this taqwa is very much important, especially after the month of Ramadan. I've talked about this a lot. And also another important thing that you should have after the month of Ramadan is that you should be following up with every mistake with a good deed. This is very much important, you know. In Ramadan, and I've been doing a lot of good deeds, but also you have been doing some bad deeds, but you've been following up with good deeds. So also go on with that. You see, maybe you have done a bad deed, you follow up with a good deed, and we will make mistake. You have to know that we will make mistake. Keep calm, and you immediately do a good deed, and it will erase it. Yeah, you keep calm, and then you immediately do a good deed, and it will erase it. Together with that, also, please, after month Ramadan, treat people well. And you know, Ramadan is gone now. You find that you should be treating people well. You find that you see people every night, every day. During the month of Ramadan, we'll be seeing every day, every night. You have been going through away. You have been seeing every day. Now you have known how to treat them well, alhamdulillah. After the month of Ramadan, now you go on even treating people well, alhamdulillah. You should go on with that deed. And another thing is that also you should be giving before you take. You should be giving before you take. And I want to talk about this one. We remember a story that I talked about also in, I think, the first lecture, of a boy who you find that this boy he said that I want to have a resolution this month of Ramadan. I'll not be only eating during the month of Iftar, but I'll be giving before I take. So he used to give, the people, alhamdulillah, to the elders especially. I used to give them food, Iftar, you know, to give them. So also this one, it should be going on. Should not stop it. Should go on bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. That is very much important. So you can see that I'm talking about a lot of things, a lot of good deeds. Okay. Now together with that, also you find that you have to thank Allah Azza for this month of Ramadan. I'm talking about these short things. They're very important. Just don't do them right now if you can, alhamdulillah. And you find that also you should be writing somewhere. So you should thank Allah Azza for Ramadan, and this is also very much important to thank Allah Azza for the month of Ramadan. And you know, we should be asking Allah to grant us the next Ramadan. You know, when you thank Allah Azza for the month of Ramadan, Allah Azza is saying that this person is thanking Him. Just because of the month of Ramadan, you thank Allah. Now you should be thanking Him by what? By doing a lot of good deeds. By doing a lot of good deeds, not doing the haram. Start now to try to cut off some of the haram. Okay, and trying to do a lot of good deeds. Thank Allah for the Ramadan. Now I want to talk about safeguarding our actions. Was the third thing that I want to talk about, what you should be doing so that you can safeguard your action that you are doing the month of Ramadan. Even after the month of Ramadan, you should be going on doing that deed. What should you do in order to go on maybe with that the deeds that you are doing during the month of Ramadan? What should you do so that you can go on doing the deeds that you did during the month of Ramadan even after Ramadan? Things it is understandable. What should you do so that you can do the deeds that you did during the month of Ramadan even after Ramadan? Okay, what are the things that you should be doing so that you can safeguard your action, just to make it easy? There are three things you should be doing so that to have that good deed accepted, and together also be accepted, to safeguard your action. Number one is to ask Allah to accept your deed. You should be asking Allah to accept your deed. This is very important, and it's last few things that I'm mentioning very much faster. You should be asking Allah to accept your deed. This is very much important, as find that here we remember the dua of Ibrahim alayhi, when he built Kaaba. What did he say? Rabbana taqabbal minna. Allah Azza, this was my broken effort, insincere, it was my broken effort, but Ya Allah, I did it in my best for you. I want you to accept from me. You find that you did it, but again you did it with the help of Allah Azza. You have to remember that the deeds that you did even during the month of Ramadan, you did it with the help of Allah Azza. And that's why you're asking Allah, Rabbana taqabbal minna. Allah Azza, accept this deed that we did, and the deeds, they were broken effort, just there are efforts still. There were efforts that we're doing, and it was sincere, just for your sake, Allah. Accept it, and I did it for your sake. Please, Allah, accept it. So this is you should be doing it. You should be asking Allah to accept your deed, and together that also you should not do an action that will destroy your good deed. That's the second thing. To safeguard your action, don't do an action that will destroy a good deed. And this one now, there are some actions that will destroy a good deed, especially there are some of the things like shirk. It will destroy all your deeds that you did even during the month of Ramadan and even before Ramadan. We should be learning about shirk and avoiding it at the best way possible. Number two, the thing that can destroy a good deed, it is to irtidad, which means to convert to another religion, or maybe you do some kind of kufr in a way that you do not accept Islam. So it can be very much bad, and we should try and avoid these deeds that can destroy our good deeds. Also, backbiting, it destroys our good deeds. When you backbite people, it destroys our good deeds. Also, that's why you can say that here we are saying that we have to control your tongue. You should control your tongue, and this is saying that very much important here, to avoid shirk, avoid control your tongue here. Very much important to safeguard your action that you did during the month of Ramadan, and also help you to do it even after the month of Ramadan. The good deeds. So you should avoid backbiting people. You should try to avoid this shirk stuff and the kufr. You should avoid it. And here now we are talking about like the nullifiers of Islam. You should avoid those nullifiers of Islam. Okay, and you should try to avoid the major sins. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Number three, to safeguard your action, we want you, my brothers and sisters, to continue the deeds that you are doing after at the time of Ramadan. You continue it. And to continue it bi'idnillahi ta'ala, we have to do bi'idnillahi ta'ala some few things that we do in the month of Ramadan, even after the month of Ramadan. And that is now inshallah going to talk about here. And the first one is to be consistent. To be consistent, maybe taking one deed, you be consistent with that one deed. That's why you be a Rabbani. You belong to Allah and not Ramadani, not worshipping Allah only Ramadan. And Allah He says in the Quran, "O you believe, obey Allah and obey the Messenger, and do not make your deeds of no effect." This above verse is a great reminder to all to not go back to sins, as they wash out our good deeds, just as good deeds they wash out the bad ones. Also, we should be doing voluntary fasting. And the voluntary fasting I want to talk about this time is the one which is the 6 days of Shawwal. And then we're mentioning the virtues of the fasting 6 days of Shawwal. Currently I'll be mentioning it. And inshallah you'll find that this is something which you should be doing also. Fasting 6 days of Shawwal after the obligatory fast of Ramadan, it is sunnah, mustahab, and it's not wajib. It is recommended for the Muslim to fast the 6 days of Shawwal, and in this there is great virtue and an immense reward. Whoever he fasts these 6 days, he will have recorded for him a reward as if he had fasted a whole year, as was reported in the Sahih Hadith from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Abu Ayyub radiallahu anhu, he said, whoever fasts Ramadan and he follows it with 6 days of Shawwal, it will be as if he fasted for a lifetime. Narrated by Muslim and Abu Dawud, and also at-Tirmidhi, also by An-Nasai and Ibn Majah. So the Prophet ﷺ, he also explained this, that when he said whoever he fasts for 6 days after Eid al-Fitr, he has completed the year. So what is here meaning, that whoever he does a good deed or hasana, he will have 10 hasana like it. And if you see that according to another report that Allah has made for each hasana 10 like it, so a month it is like fasting 10 months, and fasting 6 days completes the year. Like An-Nasai and Ibn Majah, can also see in Sahih al-Targhib wal-Tarhib. So it is also narrated by Ibn Khuzaymah with the wording that fasting for the month of Ramadan, it brings the reward of 10 like it, and fasting for 6 days brings the reward of 2 months, and that is the fasting of the whole year. So you can see that when you fast during the month of Ramadan, 30 days times 10 get 300. Then that's now 10 months you did. You see the fasting of Shawwal, 6 times 10 get 60 days, become 360. It's like fasting the whole year. So that is the virtue, you can see. And also another of the important benefits of fasting 6 days of Shawwal, it is that it makes up for any shortfall in a person's obligatory Ramadan fast, because you find that no one he is free of shortcomings or sins that have a negative effect on his fasting. And also on the day of resurrection, some of his nafil deeds will be taken to make up the shortcomings in his obligatory deeds. As the Prophet ﷺ, he said, the first thing for which people will be brought to account and the day of resurrection will be their salah. And our Lord, may he be glorified and exalted, he will say to his angels, although he knows best, look at the salah of myself, of my slave, whether it is complete or incomplete. If it is perfect, it will be recorded as perfect. And if something is lacking, he will say, look and see whether my slave, he did any voluntary prayers. So if he did some voluntary prayers, Allah will say, complete the obligatory action of my slave from his voluntary action. So then all his action will be dealt with in a similar manner that is narrated by Abu Dawud. So this is very much important, that also after the month of Ramadan should be going on and fast these 6 days of Shawwal. After doing that one, also inshallah, I want you to ponder the Holy Quran, and that is why inshallah here is what we have done. Inshallah, our tafsir course is here for the purpose of pondering the glorious Quran, in which we find that we should not be restricting the recitation of the Holy Quran to only the month of Ramadan, but you have to take at least a few minutes daily out of our schedule to recite, understand and ponder over the verse of the Quran. And even not maybe daily, to ponder it. We can be like now, our group, we are doing this every week. Inshallah, every week we will be doing lessons. That is not of course lessons, in which we are going to learn about the Quran, and it is ulum al-Quran, usul tafsir, and a lot of stuff in there bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. And I'm going to try to do my best inshallah to finish this course inshallah with you people. And also we are going to do tafsir of selected surahs, not all of the surahs, so that we can be able to finish it. Maybe afterwards we can do the other surahs. But inshallah, you find that first of my mission here in our group inshallah is to make us to learn the Quran a lot, to understand a lot of the Quran. That's why we are doing ulum al-Quran. You learn like whole of the Quran through that ulum al-Quran. You learn about the abrogations in the Quran and a lot of stuff. There are many things, I cannot mention even here, because here we are talking about Ramadan has gone. What next? So inshallah, let us do those deeds to ponder the Holy Quran. And last but not the least, we should be doing sadaqah. And you find that most of us, they pay our obligatory zakat during the month of Ramadan, but this should not stop us from spending in the path of Allah for the rest of the year. As good deeds are always rewarded, we should make it a habit to give sadaqah. And the chance to worship Allah in Ramadan was a blessing. Let us thank Allah by continuing to obey Allah after Ramadan too. May Allah help us to make better Muslim even after the month of Ramadan. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. So we should be doing obedience every time, and we should not stop doing the obedience towards Allah. Even after the month of Ramadan, when you find that you yourself you are indulged into sins, you try to ask Allah for forgiveness. And this is very much important, because everybody will commit sins, so you should try to ask Allah for forgiveness. Another thing I want you to do even after the month of Ramadan is to learn to cry. Learn to cry. Ibn Qayyim, he said that this drought of the eyes in reality is the drought of the heart. You find that our heart should not be a place where we are not crying. We should be crying, my brothers and sisters. When you see something bad happening, not only that time you cry, but you cry towards to Allah. And what will make you to cry towards Allah? When you don't talk too much without remembering Allah Azjal. Because the one who talks too much without remembering Allah Azjal, that person's talk, it becomes a rock. And the farthest person from Allah Azjal is the one whose heart is like a rock. So you find that if you see yourself not crying, don't talk too much. Like Hamza, I can see that today we have talked a lot of things. We've talked a lot of stuff. Alhamdulillah, shukla. May Allah Jalla accept it from all of us. So you should not be talking too much without remembering Allah Jalla, because here we are remembering Allah Jalla. We should be remembering Allah Jalla at all times. And as you can see that because the one who talks too much without remembering Allah Jalla, that person's talk become a rock, and the farthest person from Allah is the one whose heart is like a rock. We don't have a heart. We don't want our heart to become like a rock. Also, together with that, if you don't know how to cry, you ask Allah to soften your heart. Ask Allah, my brothers and sisters, to soften our heart. Ameen. Ya Rabbal Alameen. Allah to soften our heart. Ameen. Ya Rabbal Alameen. Now, my friend, my brother and sister, the goal, it should still be the same even after the month of Ramadan has gone. And the goal, it was to obtain the highest station of paradise. It should still be the same. Ramadan, you have to find that it is the beginning, and this is now for the previous Salaf. It is not the end, it is the beginning, because Ramadan is a life-changing experience. Ramadan is a life-changing experience. So when you say that you have stopped doing some things and you focus on ibadah, example, maybe during the month of Ramadan, you find that you stopped some of the things like TV. Some of them they stopped watching YouTube. Some of them they stopped Facebooking. Some of them even they stopped using their smartphones. They try to use their old phones. So they stopped it because of Ramadan. But when Ramadan went, you return back to your TV. My brother and sister, why is this on Ramadan only? Let us try. If you maybe are watching TV, try to watch something which is beneficial to you, something which will help you. If you are doing in YouTube now, maybe you are watching YouTube a lot, but maybe it was bad stuff. Now try to watch something which is beneficial to you, Islamic knowledge getting to you through the YouTube, like this one, which is called Dawah. Please subscribe, alhamdulillah. Now you find that after Ramadan, we should become more good. We should not become bad. We should become more good, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Also, after Ramadan, you find that the previous Salaf, also another thing that they will do, that they do not give up after the month of Ramadan, and they face challenges and they do well. They face the challenges and they do well. The most beloved action to Allah, you have to know that is the one which is consistent, even if it is small. Example, you can read Quran even if it is a page. You can do fasting even if it is only once in a month. You should not do a lot of things, but let us do some of the good deeds that are at least consistent, even if it is small. And we ask Allah to give us life in the next Ramadan. So lastly and finally, I would like to share a little dua which is in Surah Al-Imran. It is in Surah Al-Imran. Rabbana, please repeat it, inshallah. Rabbana la tuzigh qulubana ba'da id hadaytana wa hab lana min ladunka rahmatan innaka anta al-wahhab. O Allah, our Lord, our Master, who has given us all the gift that we enjoy. La tuzigh qulubana, do not derail our hearts. Ba'da, after, id hadaytana, you have guided us. Wahab lana, and gift to us, min ladunka, special from you, rahmatan, mercy, innaka antal wahhab, because you and only you, O Allah, the one who never ever stops giving and bestowing gifts. So we ask Allah to accept all our Ramadan. Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. And we ask Allah to accept our Qiyam, our fasting, and to help us to learn to cry. Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. And to cry to Allah for His sake. Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. And we ask Allah to forgive us all our sins. Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. And we ask Allah to accept all the things that we're doing, inshallah, here when we are learning the deen of Islam. Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. So inshallah, I want to just make an announcement that there will be a question and answer session during this month, and there will be a poster that will showing which day will it be. And inshallah also there will be tafsir course going on next week on Sunday. And this week Friday inshallah will be going on with the fabricated hadith lesson course. So subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.